So I think this discussion post is really pretty timely because I was actually just talking to somebody about cultural differences and how American individualism has kind of just really kind of shaped our culture and how we're becoming more and more individualistic. And I think this has a lot to do with the family unit and how the values that we have now. Um, I see the decline of the family as definitely being crucial to why there's less, I guess, morality and um, the things that we value as a culture I think, are different than they were before. So, but our conversation was kind of, he was talking about spending some time in China and how China and a lot of these Eastern cultures are very community oriented, and, families live together for, extended families live together for, their entire lives. And people talk to their neighbors, and how even that is becoming less and less, that it's almost awkward to go and approach your neighbor and talk to them. Whereas, even I think like my parents' generation, that was really commonplace and really normal. And it was normal to go over and ask somebody for milk or bread if you were running out. Whereas now that would be like crazy. So I think it's kind of all connected, and the family unit plays a significant role in this conversation about ethics, and so I think the role of the Christian family especially has, I think, more potential to make an impact in our culture than even, I'm just thinking of like street evangelism or something like that, which doesn't, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I've seen that work really well. And, but I think just the presence of a family and like seeing a family unit, has a lot of potential to just look different than what our culture is doing today. I mean, now people are married and never choose to have kids, or they have kids and they're not married, and the family's just kind of disjointed. And so I think just being a traditional family has potential to make a significant impact, and even just the opportunity for discipleship that there is with the family. We pass on our traditions and values, and the family unit is the primary means to disciple our children. I remember my youth pastor in high school saying that it wasn't his job necessarily to disciple these youth group kids, that it was their parents and their family's primary responsibility. And he was, a vehicle and an avenue for discipleship, but primarily they should be discipled by their families. And I completely agree with that. I think some of the disadvantages, I guess, is the one thing that I can really think of is, I guess the thing that stands out to me the most is just, I think sometimes people feel like, they look at a couple that's married or that's not living together or before marriage. Or I know my husband and I like had a lot of conversations with people about this, like, oh, you're not living together before marriage. And I think sometimes people are kind of off, like just put off by that because it's so different, and they feel like maybe you're judging them if they didn't make that same decision. So I think that is sort of a can be difficult just to navigate. Not that it's a reason to not do it. But I'm running out of time, so I want to wrap up. But I think this is a really good conversation. And I think as far as cautions and just advising how to approach this, I think just having a lot of grace and having a lot of patience with people, and not not communicating to people in a way that we're telling them what to do or how to live, but just I think the most important thing is just knowing Christ and knowing Scripture and living that out and having, God draw people to Himself through our behaviors and our obedience to Him.